You have probably held a pencil about 10,000 times in your life without ever wondering where it came from. But here is the wild thing. A single pencil travels through 14 different machines across 2 continents and takes 6 months to make. And it starts not in a factory, but in a forest. Deep in the cedar forests of California and Oregon, massive incense cedar trees reach over 100 feet into the sky. These trees are chosen for one very specific reason. Their wood is soft enough to sharpen easily, but strong enough to not snap when you press down hard. A single mature cedar tree produces about 170,000 pencils. The tree is felled and stripped of its bark and cut into long rectangular blocks called slats. Each slat is about 7 inches long and 3 inches wide and the thickness of half a pencil. The slats are stacked in massive drying kilns and heated for 2 full weeks. The wood turns from pale green to a warm honey gold. Now here is where it gets really clever. A machine cuts 8 parallel grooves into the flat surface of each slat. These grooves are exactly half the depth of the graphite core. A second machine fills each groove with graphite paste, which is not actually lead. Nobody uses lead in pencils, and nobody ever has. Graphite is a form of carbon, the same element that makes diamonds. It is mixed with clay and water into a gray slurry, then extruded through a tiny hole like spaghetti. The thinner the hole, the thinner the pencil line. The graphite rods are baked in a kiln at over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit until they are rock hard. Then they are dipped in hot wax so they glide smoothly across paper instead of scratching it. This wax dip is the secret difference between a cheap pencil that feels scratchy and a smooth one that writes like butter. Now the magic assembly step. A second slat is placed on top of the first like a sandwich, with the graphite rod trapped perfectly in the middle. The 2 slats are glued together under massive pressure until they become one solid block. When you look at a pencil closely, you can actually see the seam between the 2 halves. The sandwich block goes through a shaping machine with spinning blades that carve the rectangular block into a hexagonal tube. Hexagonal because 6 flat sides stop the pencil from rolling off your desk. A round pencil would just roll away every time you set it down. The shaped pencil passes through a sanding station where it is smoothed until it feels like silk in your hand. Then it goes through the painting tunnel, a machine that sprays 7 coats of glossy lacquer onto the wood. The classic yellow pencil gets its color from this tunnel. Most pencils are painted yellow because yellow was associated with royalty in China, where the best graphite came from in the 1800s. After painting, a different machine stamps the brand name and the number 2 onto the flat side using hot metal foil. The number 2 means the pencil has medium darkness and medium hardness, the perfect balance for standardized tests and everyday writing. A number 1 pencil is darker and softer. A number 3 is lighter and harder. The pencil then reaches the ferrule station. The ferrule is the little metal band that holds the eraser, and it is made of aluminum crimped onto the wood by a machine that moves faster than your eye can follow. The pink eraser is made of synthetic rubber mixed with pumice, a volcanic rock that creates the friction needed to lift graphite off paper. The eraser does not actually erase anything. It physically lifts the graphite particles off the paper surface and traps them in the rubber. That is why erasers eventually turn gray and wear down. They are filling up with your old mistakes. The finished pencil is sharpened by the factory and inspected under bright lights. Any pencil with a cracked barrel or a crooked ferrule or an off-center graphite core is rejected and recycled. The ones that pass are packed into boxes of 12 and shipped to classrooms and offices and kitchen drawers across the planet. 14 billion pencils are made every single year. That is nearly 2 pencils for every human on Earth. And each one traveled 6 months and crossed an ocean just to sit in a cup on your desk waiting for you to pick it up. So the next time you sharpen a pencil, take half a second to look at the tiny circle of graphite in the center. You are looking at carbon that was baked at 1,000 degrees and wax-dipped and sandwiched between 2 cedar slats that grew for 80 years in a forest in Oregon. Also, you could write a grocery list or doodle in the corner of a notebook, which honestly is kind of beautiful. If that blew your mind even a little bit, hit like and subscribe and ring the bell, because next time we are taking apart something even weirder. And leave a comment telling me what everyday object completely mystifies you. I read every single one, and who knows, your question might become the next episode.